Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Washai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Washai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Washai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Howell, Bashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakudash, the blindness of the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, which you well. Salutations to the whole for the elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman. This week's topic is going to be entitled He Who Controls the Media Controls the Narrative. And that's something we've been seeing, man. It's something we've known a lot, but it's something that's been amplified a lot lately, with mainly what's going on within the news. Pretty much the media, um, mainstream media, social media, all this propaganda-filled news is pretty much dictating how people act, react, and all that. Um, I know one of the things going around right now is that this dude right here was a cop, and they're saying no, it's not a cop. But when that news got pushed out on social media, no confirmation, people just going wild on rumors and shit. But cop or no cop, this dude was definitely an agent provocateur, and that's the first thing that came to my mind was this guy. There's gonna be, and the Elder Monatazak did a lesson on that. Like, look, these different movements are filled with agent provocateurs that incite violence. Because here it is, you have your cause to protest what unjustly happened to George Floyd, and then you have people that's gonna come in and infiltrate to set you up to make you do things that are carnal and just really stupid. Um, that deviates from your protest or whatever, ultimately to fulfill an agenda of the infiltrator, right? So this article says Jacob Penderson is not the AutoZone umbrella man, St. Paul police say. So they did an investigation on this video. Somebody on their Twitter put that it was a cop, and it went crazy. It says a viral and incendiary social media accusation against a St. Paul, Minnesota police officer is false, the police department said in a statement. The situation shows how quickly information can spread on social media, um, rocketing around the web, especially in a fast-moving situation like the unrest in the Twin Cities. So it's pretty much like rumors, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if you haven't was in like elementary school, of course you probably was in elementary school or high school, rumors start flying. And then, the scripture says in the mouth of two witnesses, but now rumors start flying, and whoever's controlling the rumor, controlling the narrative, is ultimately has the leverage on how people view situations. Now, I want to read something. This is Job 13:4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value." So, who's forging the majority of these lies? The so-called white man. All right. And what I want to do is I want to show you, brother, something, right? Um, it's like here. Let me see if I could check this out. The same guy that caused the whole lockdown everybody's listening to, look what he says. This is Dr. Fauci. It says second wave of coronavirus may never happen, and there's no reason to wear masks. So after this guy done got yeah, y'all familiar with Dr. Fauci already. After this guy done got, pretty much the whole damn place shut down, and they did this giant wealth transfer, which they're still doing. Now this guy wants to switch up his narrative and say, oh no, the coronavirus is not that serious. Which technically right now, statistically speaking, a child has a greater chance of dying from a bolt of lightning than dying from the coronavirus, man. So that whole wearing a mask thing has nothing to do with your safety, but rather a sign of submission, But again, if you control the media, you control the narrative, right? This guy Bill Gates, he was giving massive amount of donations to who? The World Health Organization, and they pushed out the narrative of whatever they want concerning this coronavirus. You saw MSNBC is also founded by Bill Gates. The Clintons have stakes in CNN. So like you look at different media outlets, it's kind of hard now to find unbiased and true news. That's how come we have to always double check and fact check everything this devil puts out, man, and to the best of our ability, filter what we can. And news is always changing, so we release what we release, and then facts might change, things might change. Okay, so lucky that got updated, but nowadays with this media and the so-called white man trying to push his agenda and different moves, all right, trust and believe he has infiltrators within movement situations and all these different crises that are happening, and he has the media leverage, man, to really skew the way people think. This is John 8:44. It says, ye are of your fathers the devil, and the lust of your fathers you will do. So that's our people right there. They have the lust of their father. And who was their father? Esau, Cain, man. All right. And what are some of the characteristics of Cain? He's pretty much the first nigga, and a lot of our people take that um characteristics and bearing upon themselves of the devil, the deceiver. All right, the false accuser of brethren, Esau. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. So this is the characteristics of Cain, the so-called white man. All right, which back then he had pigmentation, but after his wicked deeds, he was cursed with leprosy. All right, a mark. All right, which is that that skin that lacked pigmentation that you see was supposed to be a mark. All right, to let you know who this murderer is. It says, and abode not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. So there's no real uprightness in the so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to telling truths and everything with these political medias and pundits is about an agenda, man. You know what I'm saying? It's about an agenda and trying to rile and trap our people. That's how come, the Spirit always tell us, look, man, don't get into these protests and these different rallies, because guess what? You do have sincere people amongst it, but you also have agents amongst it. Because there was a video of World Star that was showing a news media was was playing gunshots, man. They was playing gunshots to make the people that were doing peaceful protests to make it look like they're all going crazy. And the fucked up shit about that is, they want you to go crazy just like they did in the LA riots and destroy your own communities, man. Because I was on World Star Hip Hop and I saw so-called blacks, all right, or which are the Negroes or the tribe of Judah. They was out in front of their stores with guns, man. Because now the whole thing done changed. The whole narrative is not about what they did to Jacob Floyd, but now about protecting your little small business that you might have had and turn these people against each other. So at the end of the day, it's all prophecy. So you can't really do nothing against this truth, but only for it. It says, there's no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So the so-called white man is a very crafty, manipulative beast, man. And he knows how to paint a narrative. He knows how to control you people out there, right? And make you do silly things, man. You know what I'm saying? The so-called white man got you wearing a mask of submission and gloves, created a boogeyman that's not there, all right, and baited a lot of people into looted and rioting when guaranteed, man, the so-called white man don't let nothing go. So all you people that fell for this bait and went and robbed and did all this shit, trust and believe the so-called white man got your number. They got you on them cameras and they don't let shit slide, man. Plus, this ain't gonna do nothing. This ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna take the so-called white man out of his rulership, because that's not prophecy. All right, the prophecy is Yahweh Shah is gonna take this man out of his rulership. However, the wars, the rumors of wars, and the uproars of the people, now that's prophetic. So this in itself does play a role in prophecy, man. All right. So what they do is order ab chaos. They create the chaos and come up with the solutions, man. All right, whether it's a natural disaster or natural crisis, or more often than not, they formulate the crises themselves, man. All right, including the false pandemic, to do a giant wealth transfer. All right, because the scripture says he causes all, both rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand and forehead. So there ain't gonna be no middle. Either you're gonna be rich or you're gonna be poor. All right, and they working their magic, if you will, their deception, to do just that. All right, the scriptures speak about wars, rumors of wars. All right, a police state, and if that's not happening fast enough, then boom, they put agent provocateurs to do that, man. So our job, man, is to just keep it spiritual. Our protest is spiritual. All right, not carnal. Exodus 20:16, it says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor," and that's what this devil has done, man. All right, they've painted. You got a lot of. Let's keep it funky, man. You got a lot of wicked jakes out there that do commit violence and all that type of shit and kill each other and rob and all that. That's true. You can't just say, oh, every so-called Negro, Latino, Native American is a peaceful being. Nah, because there's something called 2/3. But the media and the scriptures speak of a race riot. So the so-called white man is gonna twist it to create this racial narrative, man. You know what I'm saying? Which the cops are so-called racist. There's a lot of racist cops out there, but this shit, cop brutality, happens every day. You know what I'm saying? In fact, two of the officers that were charged were so-called blacks. because you got a lot of our own people that take abuse of power and kill each other. You know what I'm saying? But they trying to stir up a racial agenda with it. To pit so-called blacks versus whites. But guess what? That's one that's gonna happen regardless, because that's prophecy. And two, a true Edomite, black, white, whatever the Edomite might look like, or whatever the Israelite might look like on the outward appearance, they have a perpetual hatred towards each other, man. All right, that's in the book of Ezekiel, the 35th chapter, and it's not artificial. All right, it's just pure hate between Jacob and Esau, because these were the two spirits that were at odds with each other from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And most I loved Jacob, and the most I hated Esau. All right, so the so-called white man, all right, however he might look, because he is mingled amongst nations and Israelites. All right, and the so-called Israelites, so-called black man, Negro, Latino, Native American, no matter his outward appearance, he has enmity against the so-called Edomites, because this all comes down to Jacob and Esau. You know, so yeah, they're gonna try to spin it. It was racially driven, because that dude, he had a track record of doing crazy shit to Jake. But the police, again, as a whole, have a track record of doing crazy shit to our people, man. Even our own people that's in that police force bullshit. Just like hey man, there's nothing new under the sun. Just like how it was when Vespasian came to seize Jerusalem, it was a head Israelite general that came up with the technical ways of doing it. So our people, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. So again, they're trying to play that part down, because they want to drive this whole race war thing up, man. So that's also a political move. Psalms 119 and 69, it says, "The proud has forged a lie against me." Now, who's the proud? The proud is a so-called white man, all right? And the ones in rulership, man, these devils that rule, all right? They form constant lies and do witchcraft and all types of shit, mainly through their mainstream media, man, to how to manipulate our people and to manipulate the way they think, man. So a lot of times, man, especially now, what I always do is I always look at who's funding this particular station. Where's this station getting this money from? Who's behind it? And you could just, it's a lot easier to spot what and what they can't say, And that's the era we living in, man. Censorship crazy, You got this dude, Joe Rogan, he left YouTube for $100 million to Spotify. And a lot of people are saying, man, look, the hell with YouTube, because they censoring what you can't say and make you self-censor yourself, man. How you think and all that type of shit. So people are trying to look for a new outlet, because if you could censor what's put out there and you could shadow ban different content, then of course you're controlling the narrative of however you want a situation to play out and who stands to benefit, man. You look at who funds people like YouTube. They owned by Google, which Google has a big tech contract with the CIA, man. All right, for what? For data collection. So you already know they're gonna put out a certain narrative a certain way and block certain things. So we living in a police state, man. All right, we're living in a society where freedom of speech is not really freedom of speech, because you can't even say you hate somebody. Everything got to be love and politically correct. What's wrong with hate? The Bible speaks about hate. And the so-called white race is fighting for their constitution, because they go heavy with that shit. But guess what? Their kingdom is coming to an end. So they losing all them liberties and all that. That's gonna be out the window as we move closer and closer towards a police state, man. To the point that teaching His word, all right, is gonna be out the window, man. Before I read this last scripture, and guess what? This control and false narrative of the media is also gonna play a part in this truth. All right, because guess what? They're gonna have the ability to twist and put a bullshit against brothers that teach this thing, man. That's how come you really got to be careful of who you tell this truth to and how you speak to people about this thing, man, because you have agents, man. All right, they're gonna try to fuel you and try to get you to say types of, look, to make you, that's how come when we get on the common boards, we don't get really too crazy, because we know the so-called white man could use it against you. and you got to use wisdom with this devil. All right, so you might meet a chick. You think you're meeting a chick, kind of find out she's a goddamn cop trying to incite you to see what type of shit you about, and that sounds. Oh, that might sound a little far fetched or sound like some shit you see in the movies, but now they do shit like that, man. All right, or they might have actors. You had that situation in Jersey with the Hebrew Israelite that started blasting at them so-called Jews. Now, I don't personally believe that was an agent. I really think that was a Jake and a bugged out Jake and a bugged out woman that lost it. But guess what? They could use that. And that's all they take, man. They could amp up that narrative how they want to amp it up. And soon they're going to start amping up false narrative against brothers, man, the ones that teach this thing. So, again, you got to be careful and the facts you bring out, the things that you say, because this devil could twist your words, bring your lessons back up, chop it up and all that, you know, or send agents in the camp or send agents at your job that try to, pry information out you and try to see if you're going to say some carnal, stupid shit and try to use it against you. So this is the times we're living in, the times when we got to be circumspect, look around and observe everything, man. Revelations 20:10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire. So ultimately, this deceptive devil, all right, he has a judgment to pay. And that judgment is going to be, this whole kingdom is going to be cast into a lake of fire, man, all right? But that lake of fire and the hell that it's talking about is not talking about a physical place underground. It's talking about post-World War III and when our Lord come back with the chariots to, one, hit America with nuclear missiles, and two, add more fire to that fire with chariots and laser beams, man. That's going to be issued out of them, what they call UFOs, which really are IFOs. They identified in the Bible, all right, as the chariots of Israel, man. That's 2 Kings 2:11 and Psalms 104:3. All right, it says, into the lake of fire and brimstone where the beast and the false prophets are and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. So there's going to come a time where the so-called white man is going to have to pay a recompense, all right, for the lies and narratives that he done put, man, upon us, that he put up, and the manipulation that he used against all people, man. Hey, so I just want to put that caveat out there, man. As soon as we approach the end, kind of give information a little bit, a little bit of time, because that's one thing I've been noticing. This man has been doing, and a lot with the social media and the mainstream media is just twisting facts and just trying to incite a certain narrative out of people, man. So beware of this man and this bullshit, all right? And always, we always say, look, man, just come for the truth here at Great Millstone, starting with the apostles and the elders and the brothers. You see that we decipher things to the best of our abilities through the Spirit, and we don't have no bias. We just report the things as is, all right, as we know, to the best of our ability, and back it up with scriptures, All right, so with that, look, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, Rokak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, true well, and salutations to the whole for the elect out there. You Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.